an empire that was located in West Africa and whose king, whose Mansa, right, would become to be known as the richest man in history. His name was Mansa Musa. Most of us know him for the gold, right? For the caravans, the long caravans heavy with gold. When he set out to go on a pilgrimage to Mecca in 1324, the sheer amount of gold that he spent and shared throughout his journey, it said that it affected the cost of gold itself. So the guy was literally creating inflation everywhere he went. But if we stop at the gold, we are missing a very important point. Because Mansa Musa was not just moving money, right? He was a disruptor. He was moving knowledge. And on this journey and others, he met with scholars, he met with architects, he met with doctors, he met with jurists. People who were actually shaping the cutting edge of their time. And he did not just shake their hands and move on. He invited them to travel back with him to Timbuktu, his home city. Basically, he invited them to come, teach, build, write, and experiment. He took the best of what he've seen, what he've encountered across the world, and he brought them back home to kind of mix it, to collude it with the depth and the wealth of knowledge, of culture, and of trade that was already existing in Timbuktu. And that's how Timbuktu became not only a far-off name on the map, right, but a city, a symbol of the African golden age, the golden age for African thought. Timbuktu became a city of libraries, of universities, and most importantly, of ideas that travel far beyond the borders of Timbuktu. And so when we chose the name Timbuktu for this initiative, it was not an accident, obviously. It was an homage to this golden age of Africa, to this time of glory for our continent. So this initiative called Timbuktu, basically it's a statement, is a declaration that we're making that Timbuktu, mythical place, at the end of the world, everybody knows Timbuktu for this expression, going to Timbuktu, to this very far away place, but as a very concrete location that is part of our history, that is part of our story. And so this philosophy, this idea of bringing, together the best of what the world has to offer and to anchor it into the local, if I can say so, reality, is very much at the heart of everything we do at Timbuktu. And it's also a way to illustrate the partnership, the very, I would say, new of its kind somehow, partnership that we've set up with 500 Global, who is working with us to bring to life this vision of building a pipeline of Africa's startup. Our tagline is "From Here to Africa's Future." And today, here is Nairobi. Today, here, it's also building environment for the startup we support. So, warm welcome to the Timbuktu Green Tech Hub Demo Day. And in the room today, we have startups from different programs that we've been running this year. We have startup from the Pre-Acceleration Academy that you'll learn more about later, startup from our seed accelerator. But before we go into the remarks, we'll have a couple of before we go to the pitches, we'll have a couple of opening remarks. But before we even start, allow me to do some housekeeping. So the evening today is recorded, so if you don't want to be recorded and photographed, if you're a bit shy, please let one of our team members know. We have our hostess that are here to support you for any inquiry. And please, if you can turn your phone into silent mode so that the founders and the speakers can have your full attention. So I would like to start with a couple of opening remarks. So I'd like to invite on the scene our deputy representative, Madalena Monoja, for a presentation of what the Green Tech Hub and UNDP has been doing in Kenya and why we think that entrepreneurship is a reform, entrepreneurship in Timbuktu is a reform agenda for the UNDP.
Thank you so much, Astria. I understand that there was supposed to be a representative from Ministry of ICT. I'm not sure, Gladys, if they're here, but our partners from 500 Global, who I can see in the room, colleagues from Konza, and the ecosystem partners, founders, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. I'm very happy to join you in this closing session or the last segment of this one-week event. I understand you all have been here for the past 1 week, really going through this third series of the last part, rather, of the three-part series that started about, we are now in December, I think September, Kerry? The first 1 week around in September, yeah? And then we had the 6 weeks boot camp, and then, or 3 weeks rather, then you all went back to those who came from outside Kenya to do the 3 weeks virtual session, and now this is the culmination of this process. What an exciting moment. As Astra is saying, this really represents to us is not a pilot per se, because this program was launched in December last year. And since then, it has been a marathon of really working with all of you from across Africa to do the various pre-acceleration program that we have undergone with the different groups and the different cohort, culminating in the day-to-day. A number of you from outside Africa have been, this must be your third visit to Nairobi, yeah? And you have undergone through the various series that brought us to this stage. In between, there has also been a Kenyan-led events that a number of you have participated in, including the partnership earlier this year, the event with the startup from Egypt, and I know last week, a number of you were also with our new administrator who visited Kenya for the first time, and you are all in Konza, showcasing the great work that you have all been doing. So it has been a marathon, a 12-month marathon, and we are very happy from UNDP in our partnership with 500 Global, with the leadership of the Minister of ICT, to have worked the journey with all of you. In terms of numbers, we can see that throughout this 12-month period, we have supported 89 startups through pre-acceleration and acceleration, engaged 40 innovators through hackathons and early-stage prototyping, and reached close to 150 young founders and innovators overall. This is really traction, in fact, a rapid, as I said, traction, built quickly and built with intent. At the heart of our work this year have been two flagship programs, the Acceleration Academy and the Seed Accelerator, delivered in partnership with our great colleagues from 500 Global, as I had said. The Pre-Acceleration Academy, as you all know, is designed for innovators moving from prototype to early MVP, while the Seed Accelerator supports investment-ready startups across energy, agri-green tech, mobility, and waste. Together, this pre-acceleration plus acceleration combination has been a game changer. Founders repeatedly told us this was among the most effective programs they have encountered or experienced this far. Not because it was inspirational only, but because it was immediately actionable, giving them clarity, discipline, and traction in real time. And for those who hosted the administrator in Konza last week, these are the testimonies that you all shared in that forum. And it's important indeed to underline what this partnership signals. 500 Global is widely recognized as one of the world's leading early venture firms, and until recently had limited operational. When did we have the launch of 500 Global, Kerry? In April, absolutely, yeah? So we are very happy that UNDP served as a vehicle to really facilitate 500 Global having their hub in East Africa. As we know, Nairobi is the hub of everything happening in East and actually even Central Sub-Saharan Africa. So we are in the right place, 500 Global. This is where everything happens in Africa. Today's demo is therefore a milestone. 31 startups from across Africa, drawn from this year's Pre-Acceleration Academy and Seed Accelerator cohorts, coming together to translate innovation into investable opportunity. As Astrea already said, the structure is simple and investor first. 16 Pre-Acceleration Academy startups will pitch for 2 minutes, and 15 Seed Accelerator startups will deliver concise 30-second pitches, followed by direct engagement during the showcase and networking. Let me ground this in 3 examples you will see on stage today. Real testament to the quality of the pipeline that the 500-led program have helped sharpen in Kenya through the Green Tech Hub. VitConnect is a digital animal health platform connecting farmers to veterinary services, inputs, markets, and financing, while also offering data-driven tools like traceability and farm engagement to improve livestock productivity and farmer incomes. RIM NextGen is building a compact plug-and-play IoT gas meter that attaches to LPG cylinders, helping households and businesses monitor gas levels, track consumption, and receive low gas alerts and refill reminders. Last but not the least, Clima360 is developing climate risk data and insurance solutions for smallholder farmers, combining climate analytics and early warning systems with insurance enablement tools with an ambition to reach 3 million farmers by 2030. So ladies and gentlemen, these are not nice ideas. They are focused solutions tackling real friction points in food systems, energy access, and climate resilience, with business models that can rival all other similar initiatives around the world. None of this happens without partnership, as we have said, and we are very grateful for the partnership that we have garnered so far and looking forward to expanding this partnership even further. So without further ado, I want to say that on behalf of UNDP in Kenya, UNDP Global and UNDP Regional, this is really one of our very, very important, highly rewarding flagship initiatives that we are very passionate about, and we do everything from the institutional framework to be able to see that we accompany these founders, these startups, these ideas to the final journey or the final destination that they will be going into. And that actually from 2026, we will then be seeing the recruitment of the next cohort of this exercise. I look forward to indeed very impressive pitches from all the 16 and 15 founders and startups who will be presenting, and to strong engagement, which will in fact culminate into profitable investment partnerships. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Madalena, for stating so clearly how important this program is for UNDP. And it's so, so important to have the senior leadership of one of our biggest country and bureau in Africa being here to support the startups, because as I said earlier, this is very much a reform agenda. And as we've been working towards this initiative, at some point we had to make a decision. How is going Timbuktu be positioned in the ecosystem? Do we want to create more solutions, or do we want to support and enhance the solutions that are already existing? So obviously we went for the second option. And then we had to think about who will be the best partner for us to work with. And a series of, I would say, serendipities, brought us actually close to 500 Global. So please join me in welcoming on the scene Carrie Lowe, who is the Executive Director for 500 Global. Thank you.
Good afternoon, guests, investors, friends, and our partners from UNDP Timbuktoo Initiative. Thanks for having 500 Global here today to support this inaugural demo day. My name is Carrie Liao. I'm the Executive Director at 500 Global. 500 Global is one of the world's most active technology investors with 15 years of experience partnering with sovereign and developmental institutions in emerging markets to uplift people and economies through entrepreneurship. We have been investing in Africa since 2011 with 150 plus portfolio companies, and we continue to be excited by the potential this continent has to offer. We believe that talent, great ideas, and solid execution is alive in this market. This year, as mentioned by Magdalena as well as Estra, we partner with UNDP to run two key programs. First, in October, we launched the Pre-Acceleration Academy, a bootcamp for 40 founders from 14 countries across the continent at the pre-seed stage. You will hear from them today. Our second program is the Sustainable Innovation Seed Accelerator, supported also by the Shell Foundation and the UK government, where we accelerated 15 seed and growth stage companies in the sustainability space for mobility, agri-tech, and energy. I want to personally thank UNDP for putting this event together, from the beautiful venue to the logistics, the planning, down to inviting our friends here in the room to join us today. So thank you, Estra, Gladys, and the team. In the last week, 500 Global has spent our time working with the founders on their pitches and helping them showcase their traction and technology, and we're proud to see their progress. I hope you will enjoy the pitches today. 500 Global is committed to contributing to this ecosystem, and we start right now with these founders in the room with us. Through our combined efforts, we can make innovation happen, so I look forward to building with all of you. Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you so much, Carrie, and definitely 500 for us is much, much more than just a logo on the slide, right? They're a very committed partner, committed to excellence, and we see it every day in the implementation of our programs. So today, before we go to the pitch, I really wanted to have a short conversation because we are going to hear a couple of pitch of startup looking to raise. But what does it really take, right, to raise in this continent, in this space, at this time, especially here in Kenya? And for that, we are going to have a quick fireside chat. It will be moderated by Shiva, who Shivam Kichore, who is an investor and also a startup mentor, who mentored our startup during the recent accelerator program. He'll be joined on stage by Abigail Komu, who's the network manager for Neiban. And one of the most important indeed, Delilah, who is the co-founder of Okoa, who is the startup who actually raised here in Kenya with Neiban. So we're going to have this candid chat around what it actually takes to build a startup and to back a startup here in Kenya. So, Shivam, over to you. Yeah, so the chairs are coming.
Does this work? Can you all hear me just fine? Well, thank you firstly for having us. A massive thanks to 500 and UNDP for organizing the event. I want to start, before we get into this, I just want to start quickly by acknowledging the fact that the journey of a founder, it's tough, it's hard, it's full of blood, sweat, and tears. And yet, in spite of all of that, we've got amongst us those who dream, who choose to do it. And more importantly, not just dream, but they transform ideas, sometimes wild ideas, to impact and revenues. And so just want to have a round of sort of hands up for all the founders in the room, because I know it's very hard. You've done incredibly well to be here. So thank you all. It's not easy, certainly. And that's why I have the absolute pleasure of moderating this conversation with two lovely individuals who have had the pleasure of knowing for a long time, Abby and Delilah. Maybe just a quick round of intros. Abby, just quick 2 seconds about yourself.
2 seconds. Hi, everyone. Good afternoon. My name is Abigail Komo. I work with Nairobi Business Angel Network. We are an angel investment group of, I would say, individuals that come together to invest in early-stage startups, and I'll talk a little bit more about how we operate.
Brilliant. Thanks. Delilah?
Hi, everyone. I'm Delilah Kidanu. I'm the co-founder and COO at Okoa Rescue. We are a roadside rescue for commercial vehicles startup here in Nairobi.
For 3-second pitches, take note. That's fantastic. But just to begin, so I think I'll start with Abby first. I mean, Abby, as somebody who's been on this ecosystem investing for a while, you've seen the ecosystem grow from very nascent stage to now getting a bit more mature over the years. You know, for the founders in the room, what would you say you have seen as some of the things that work exceptionally well when it comes to raising a pre-seed round?
Okay, so for context, I'll speak about it from a Nairobi Business Angel Network and what I've seen in angel investing on a personal capacity as well as with a network. And so I think a few things. One is there are a lot of investors that exist out there. There are very many kinds of angel investors. So you have individual investors, you have investors that are informal, they operate maybe 2 or 3, and so decision making is very quick. You have, angels that have a lot of money, so they deploy hundreds of thousands of dollars every year. And then you have networks like ours that come together and try and create a space for people who want to invest in startups, but just don't know how or want to do it with other people. And so for us, we are 180 of us, and you can imagine 180 different opinions. You can imagine 180 different investment theses. So just looking at that lens as well, I would say for founders that really know who they want to, I would say, raise from, right? So I'll give you a story. So the other day, I had gone for an event, and it was 10 p.m., and I found a founder coming to talk to me about manufacturing and wanted to really give me a pitch. So I think the first question I would encourage you to ask is, what is your investment thesis? What kind of businesses do you invest in? So that you're not wasting your time, because you might end up talking for 10 minutes and then the investor tells you, I'm sorry, we don't invest in those kinds of businesses, right? So that's one. And then two is start the relationship very early. So if you want to raise in the next 3 months, think about, who do I really need to be talking to? Who do I need an introduction to? How much am I raising? Like, get all the information that you need and then start talking to people about it. Sometimes what we find with founders is that, you'll have a first discussion and then they'll say, please sign an NDA, and then before we can, have a chat. So I think the conversation and the relationship starts way before you start raising, so that they know who you are, they know what you're doing, they understand your business, and they're able to, say it to 180 other different people who will then get excited about your business and, be able to invest. And I think the other thing is, they're not going to invest. Always ask for an introduction. Say, who should I be speaking to? So you don't invest, or, you're too early for me, or you're a bit late for me, etc. Who should I be speaking to? And if you can ask for 1, 2 introductions, please do, because then, you're able to find the kind of people who are going to invest in your business and are going to walk the journey with you. And then the last thing is, I would say, is as you're going through that journey, so you know the kind of investor, you know the investment thesis. If they're not going to invest, you've asked for introductions, etc. As you're speaking to the investors, have all the information that you need. So if they ask you today, give me a customer profile, give me access to your data room, can you send me a pitch deck, tell me about your customer, can we go and visit them tomorrow? Have all those things in place, because sometimes you find maybe they have a short time period, like for us, we work with a month to get to a decision as to whether we are going to invest or not. So have those in place so that they're not waiting 3 weeks to get access to your data room. And by the time, like for us, we listen to pitches every month. So by the time the next month rolls around, we've already moved on to the next one. And then just for context, if you look generally at investors, at any given time, they'll be listening to 5 pitches, 10 pitches a day, right? So I think storytelling is really an important aspect of how you raise, and knowing your customer, knowing how you're making money from them, knowing how that customer moves from 1 customer to 10 customers to 50 customers to 1,000, 1 million, is very important, and being able to articulate that. And of course, that links to the pain point and so on and so forth. So yeah, I think I'll stop there.
Delilah, I'm sure that has happened. How many wrong investors have you pitched to? And how many wrong pitches have there been? Please, it would be lovely for people to know, because you've been successful in raising a round. Right? You've been around, you're doing well. Please share your story in terms of what have you found that has worked for you?
Yeah, I think I have gone out for about 4 fundraising rounds at this point. So to Abigail's point, being prepared, I think, has been the best advice that we got. So even before going out to the market, knowing why you need the money, what you're going to use it for, and do you really need it? I think I've asked myself that many more times in my second startup than I did in my first startup. Do we really need the money? Do we really need somebody to come in at this stage? Or is there more that we can validate before we can bring somebody in? Because ultimately, as founders, when we're going to fundraise, we feel like we're the underdogs, right? But actually, we're the experts, and it is a privilege that someone gets to, join that journey with us. And sometimes that power dynamic can really shift, especially when you're 1 month away from money running out, you have people's salaries and everything that's sitting on your head, and you feel like, oh man, I really need this to come through. And those situations, understandable. I've been there. We ran out of cash, but we were able to kind of figure that out. But I think keeping that mindset of I'm the expert, I'm going out and giving this opportunity, puts you in a better mindset where now you're not really pitching and you're not saying, I need the money for this. It's more, hey, what do you invest in? This is the opportunity that I have. This is a gap that I see. Is that something that you're interested in? And that's an opener to a conversation, because I think we also have to remember that investors are also people who are interested in things, and they're investing in things that they either know a lot about or are in the process of learning. And that conversation with you could either be enlightening in terms of giving them perspective into the industry that you are in, sharing a different perspective, or it could just be, here's the pitch, are you in or are you out? And I think we always need to think about what is that one memory we want them to have of us. But overall, I think, fundraising is really tough, and I really sympathize with anyone who has to go through that, especially when things are tough already as a founder.
It's hard. Fundraising is hard. And one of the things that you said is so true, is that treating people like people and having a conversation versus a pitch makes a significant difference. So please take note of that. I know throughout the 500 programming, that narrative, that fundamental has been spoken about multiple times, but it's important because that is really, really, really true. One of the things I want to pick up that you said is, and Abby, I think, said a bit of that as well, that in the ecosystem, there's all kinds of investors. And you need to know who is it that you want to target. In your experience, Delilah, I'm sure you've had situations whereby you've met an investor and you're like, a bit unsavory, or you don't want to be. Talk to us a bit about how is it that you identify investors that you would want to build a relationship with versus some you're saying, look, I want to step away.
Yeah, I think this was a really big learning for me in my first company, where we decided that we didn't want to go after any local investment because really dumb. Don't listen to that advice, but we didn't want to go for any local investors because we wanted a quick decision, we wanted a larger amount, and we just wanted to get going. But what that meant is that we brought onto our cap table people who didn't know anything about our market. They were not able to connect us with anybody on the ground. They were giving us advice that worked in Europe, that worked in America, but really did not work here. And so I think for me, coming away from that, the biggest learning, today, one of our first investors was Naiban for Okoa. One of our customers is also our investor. So, a lot of majority of the capital that we brought in for this venture is local, and that's made a really big difference. And then coming back to what you actually asked me about how I identify the investors we want. So for me, there's kind of two things that I look out for. One is, as a female founder in this ecosystem, there are situations that'll make you feel uncomfortable, and you have to trust your gut in that situation. And that could be that you, as a female founder, never get asked any questions, or you get asked many more questions than your male co-founder. It could be that you're getting questions about, I don't know, when do you plan to have children, or when do you have to, 1, 2, 3 different things that you have to think about as a female founder that maybe others have never been, other men are never asked. And that for me is initially, it is a red flag, because for me, whether I plan to have kids or not doesn't take away from my commitment to the business. And a kid also has a father, but men are never asked that. So if that's the way the investor's thinking, then as a female founder, that's not somebody I want on my cap table. And the second thing is also someone who's willing to learn with me. I'm never someone who thinks that I know everything. I go into the business, we are experts, we're supposed to be experts, but at the same time, everyone that we're bringing onto the cap table is our partner, and they have to be willing to go to bat for us. And that's been the experience with the investors that we've brought in now. We send out our monthly newsletter every month, and every month we have different asks, and we're like, oh man, we're really struggling, we can't find this type of person, we really need an intro here. And every month we get 6 to 7 responses and actions that our investors take for us, and that's a team beyond the team that you hire that you really need as you're kind of going on the journey.
Couldn't have said any better. Maybe just to bring that question back from an investor lens, Abby, locally, what Delilah is saying is certainly true. I've seen it myself, in this ecosystem or across different ecosystems, not just particular to here. There is definitely that sentiment where investors do tend to look at themselves from a power structure as somebody who can dictate what needs to be done. Right? And that particularly plays differently when you've got a gender barrier as a layer that is added onto it. From your lens, what are you seeing that founders can do to mitigate some of that? Can they play a role in supporting investors become better? Because it is a give and take, isn't it?
They definitely can. And I really like what you talked about, Delilah, because you find that investors really like people who can teach them something, right? So in my own journey, as an example, I'm from the financial sector. I understand financial services very well, fintech, etc. I know where the problems are. I know where the gaps are and everything else. But when I get somebody coming, for instance, the Okoa pitch and many other of, the pitches that we hear, we often find that, where investors are learning something that they didn't know before, where they feel that they can actually help. So for us, beyond capital, we also like to provide connections. So whenever I speak to founders who are going to pitch, I say, have a financial ask, know what you're asking for, how much you're raising, what the money is going to be used for, but also have other asks. So if you're looking to connect with somebody at the Nairobi City Council in this particular department, ask, because our network has 180 different people, and from there, I'm sure you will find somebody who can connect you to somebody who can help you solve your problem. So it's not always financial. It is also the network, access to customers, and so on. And just raising your hand and saying, I need somebody who has operational expertise. I need somebody who has strategic expertise. I need somebody who can help me with this, that, and the other. And in that way, then you're walking the journey with the investor, not necessarily, and building that relationship. And those are the kind of investor-investee relationships that are good. I will have a caveat though. For us who are a network of 180 people, you have 180 different personalities. And so whenever I talk to founders, whenever they're pitching, I just say, think about, usually we'll have about 20 to 30 people in the pitch call, or at most 50. So you have different people from different sectors who have come in not knowing anything, or maybe some of them have good insights into the market. And so you're dealing with different people. So whereas, let's say if you pitch to an organization that specifically invests in climate, for instance, they have expertise in climate. But for us, we have such diverse opinions, industries, and so on. And so it helps to break it down in a way that the investor can understand, so that you don't feel that they're asking you questions that are mundane, but they really want to know what you're doing and what you're building, so they can see how to help. And
that is such an important point. I want to emphasize that quite a bit, because particularly at pre-seed levels, I think even at certain seed levels, I think it's important to create that dynamic whereby you're learning as much as you're sharing. Right? It's not just a one-way stream, and I think that makes a difference. As to how much time do we have left? We're good? 5 minutes? Okay, so I think I'll maybe, because we'll want to invite questions from the people too, because I'm sure you would want to ask both of these a lot of questions. But one other sentiment I would want to share, Delilah, from you is throughout the journey of fundraising, what I've seen in my experience also as an investor is there's often at times when startups approach me, they approach me very much from the principle of money bank, right? Where they're like, you give me money because you are the investor, but there's a lot more to be offered, right? And I think the best engagements I've had have been where they've looked at me as a strategic asset rather than just a dollar figure. How have you leveraged your investors strategically to support your business growth?
Yeah, so we work with our investors very closely, especially now at OCOA. We have a few investors from the banking industry. We have a few investors from we basically service fleets. So one of our investors has a fleet of 50 trucks. We do all of the servicing and the rescuing for him, and he has been, a huge help for us. We haven't set up a presence in Mombasa, but he basically is our presence in Mombasa. So every time we go to do sales, we use his office. When we need an introduction, we, leverage him. When we have new pricing, new ideas, we utilize, his network and him as an individual to get that feedback already, because he is our target customer. We also have people who didn't end up investing in us because their thesis was a bit different, or they had a different perspective on the direction that we were going. But because of the relationship we were able to build with them, they have done so much for us even without investing. So all the banking partnerships that we've been able to secure, or the insurance partnerships that we've been able to secure, came from those people. And that's, it's not a personal thing when someone rejects your pitch or says that they're not able to invest. As you said, there's a lot more to be offered, and most often people are willing to offer that. And so we really took leverage of that. So we have a lot of introductions to customers. We even asked someone who passed on our investment if he would come to a bank meeting with us, because he used to be a board member, and just having him in the room, not really saying anything, but just talking about golf, or making a joke or something with the bank.
Golf?
Yeah, they're golf buddies, so just having him in the room, I think for us really managed to get the deal done. So
please take note. I think I've emphasized this quite a bit, and I think the 500 team has done a phenomenal job of instilling this in the psyche of the founders, that there are strategic partnerships that add a lot of value. And every connection, every conversation you have is an opportunity to enhance those partnerships and leverage them in fantastic ways. I think I'll just end quickly on one point, and then we'll invite questions maybe for 2 minutes. Is just also that at this early stages, it is very much about the people. Right? Abibi and I were just talking about this. Like, somebody was asking me, oh, like, have you validated the business model and have you validated the customer profiles? And I'm like, at that pre-seed, seed level, it is very much, I still remember the Lala's pitch, when you and Ollie came to pitch, you feel it. You feel the person, you feel the passion, you feel the care and the intent, where you know that regardless of how the business works out, this person will do whatever it takes to make it work. And that is what you're betting on. So that has to come across. So in your pitches, in your conversations, please carry that passion with you, because that is what allowed you to get up and start the startup in the first place. Right? So don't forget that, because that is what makes you who you are. So with that, I'll just invite a few questions. Astrid, maybe can we take 2 more minutes for questions? Okay, so 2 questions maybe for either Abi or Dalala. Just raise your hands if you've got questions. Or I can answer too. Yes, please.
My name is Rhyme, Matthew Njuguna, and this is for Abi in regards to Okoa. So, like, how long did you take to be able to fundraise, and how long did you start that discussion for?
Okay, so I'm trying to, it was quite a
Go
while.
back to the past. Go back to the past.
Sorry, I think I mixed names. My apologies.
Delilah.
Yeah, sorry. But thank you, Abi. So you can... Yes, my apologies.
I thought so. I was wondering what you were going to say.
Exactly.
Yes, so we've done 2 rounds at Okoa. Our first round, our pre-seed, so we basically started the company, and we were running off of like $0 in savings for a bit, just to be able to prove the business model. And we got to the point where we signed on 1 customer, and we were able to service that customer, and then we started our fundraise. We were able to bring in about 100,000, and we closed that in about 2 months. And that went really quick because we went through like a friends type of round, so we were able to get that. But maybe the more interesting is the round that came after that, because we were very sure that we would hit certain targets, which then would unlock more capital for us. But we failed to hit those targets for many different reasons, which then meant that we ran out of money. We had like 2 weeks where we had no funds at all. And that was really, really tough. And then we're like, okay, we have to slash our valuation. We have to go into the market. And at that point, had to make a decision if we're going to go out into the market like honestly and say, hey, we've run out of money and you could save us or not. Or if we're like, yeah, we're just fundraising. We're really quickly, closing this round really quick. We want to get back to business. And we kind of did a hybrid of that, which I think that honesty that we were able to bring into the market resonated, and also the fact that people could see that we actually had traction, we had like contracts signed. So we were able to then close that within like 3 weeks, mainly because we had no choice. It was either we get the money or we don't. So, but I think now the market is changing. And like, if you are gonna go for a fundraise, I think there's like a momentum that you have to build. So not just, you need to have your kind of your data room completely ready. You need to know who you're going after, and then you need to kind of go quick. So have the calls set up, have the first round, get to the second round, and keep pushing, keep that momentum and keep that activity high. Something that I always like to do is I add prospective investors to my monthly update so that they can see what's happening. And so like every month they're seeing what's happening, and we've had people come in, maybe they didn't come when we were raising, but come back 5-6 months later and they're like, oh, seen the progress, how are things going, are you fundraising? So if you're gonna go out right now, it's going to take a bit longer than you anticipate, so just make sure you have the room and the time, because you don't want to get into that situation where you have a time crunch. But yeah, I think do great.
The data room. Keep your data room nice and sorted. That makes a difference. And updated, yes. One more question and that's it. One here, please.
Good evening. My name is Joseph. I work with iLoop Kenya. One of the highlights I had from Delilah is that there's a point in a business where you might need funding, and there's a point like you won't need the funding from the investors. So I think for a startup, there's a thin line between that. How do you identify that? Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, it would be great to hear you guys. I think the reason I have two different kind of perspectives on this, on my first company, we didn't do anything until we got funds. So we basically went out to the market and we're like, bet on us, because we will make it happen. And in the second company, we're like, no, here's everything that we've done, and this is why you should bet on this idea, but also us. I think that as a founder, if you have conviction in something, there's always a way that you can show that this will work. In Silicon Valley, they termed like minimum viable product. So what is like the least version, or like the smaller version of what you're trying to do that'll validate? And I think as someone who wants to go into the market and ask people for their money to trust in you, you have to show some type of conviction that you're going to get to a certain point. I think it also wins you a lot of points with investors. That line is very tough because you could be working a full-time job and building this on the side. You could be on a sabbatical and building this on the side, but only you as the founder kind of knows like when it's time to go into the market, and also how much pain you're ready to endure. It's a pain game. Yeah.
It's the pain equation. It really is. I think Megan and I were chatting about this, and really that is the equation. Right? It is how much are you willing to take, and at what cost, and that determines it. Abby, any quick thoughts before we close off?
Yeah, I think for me the question is, do you need to raise at all? And if you do, then what kind of money do you need? So are you looking for grant funding? Do you want to give away a piece of your business? Do you want to get debt? And if you want to get debt, from who? What terms and etc. So I think there's also the work that you need to do in advance to say, if you're going to raise, what kind of money am I looking for? And how will that money sustain me over time? The other thing is, whenever we are listening to pitches, for us, one of the questions we ask is, how much runway do you have? So if you have 1 month and you're raising today, I think that's usually a bit of a concern, unless you have a plan for how you're going to keep sustaining your business and so on and so forth. But I would say, the thing to really ask yourself is if you do want to raise money, because raising money comes with terms and conditions. And if you're making enough money, for the most part, I don't think you may.
I think we don't have time for any more questions, but we're all here, so you can find us, have chats. We're not going anywhere. But thank you so much to both of you for sharing your thoughts and ideas. Yeah, sorry.
Can I just end with one thing? I think we've talked a lot about the relationship leading to the investment, but I think the relationship after the investment is also very important. One of the things I really like about Delilah and the Okoa team is the fact that every month, without fail, they will send, is it every so often? Every month. Yeah, so they will send an update. So the people who invested in the business, I think from Naiban was about 20. They know what's happening with the business. They know if it's doing well, if it's not doing well. And I think that forms part of the relationship we were talking about earlier. And then just also going back and forth from time to time, asking, this is what I need, and so on and so forth. And asking also, like when we meet in a place like this, So I would say the relationship before is important, but even after you get the money, sustaining the relationship thereafter is also very important.
That note, I think we should end.
It's getting hot, all of this. Yeah. Thank you very much, Shivam, Delilah, and Abigail, for this very honest and refreshing conversation. It's a pain game. I love this expression. I'll keep it for the future. It's a pain game, but it reminds me of an expression. In life, I think it goes like, in life, pain is inevitable, but suffering is optional, right? And so definitely entrepreneurship is a pain gain, but thankfully there are initiatives like Timbuktu, partners like 500, and all the partners in the ecosystem who are working hard, really, really hard, so that we can save the suffering to our funders. So that's interesting. But thank you again very much for this conversation, because I think it kind of anchors us into what we are trying to do today and the realities of, once again, what it takes to build and to back a startup in Africa. So I guess we are now moving from, hearing about fundraising to actually witnessing fundraising. So we are moving on to our pitch. So we'll have our 16 startups from the Pre-Acceleration Academy who will be pitching. They will both have 2 minutes to convince you, if I can say so, or at least to share with you their journey, their growth, their vision for the future, so that you can have a sense of how to work with them, partner with them, and hopefully invest in them the way we believe in them and the way we invested in them also. So, for our first startup, we're going to start with Vet Connect, who basically connects farmers with, sorry, I was confused. I was like, where is he? He's just right here. Yeah, with connecting the new ways farmers with medical support for livestock. So, Vet Connect, please come.
Good.
The floor is yours.
And you're doing a very good job. That was an amazing pitch. Hello, everyone. My name is Dr. Tesi Shadrach Akpem, and I'm the founder of Vet Connect. My journey is simple. I'm reimagining animal care for animal owners across the continent. Over $45 million is lost in Nigeria alone for 2 reasons: preventable livestock diseases and lack of access to animal care. This is not a challenge peculiar just to Nigeria. It's the reality of livestock farmers across the African continent. And in solving this problem, I have built Vet Connect, a digital animal health platform that provides comprehensive animal health coverage for both smartphones and non-smartphone owners who are livestock farmers seeking animal care by accessing animal health professionals, veterinary clinics, and vendors, while also leveraging our AI-powered disease predictor and feed calculator to be able to improve productivity in real time. The livestock sector across the continent is huge. Africa is home to over 600 million animal owners, supporting 1.4 billion livelihoods. This sector is valued at over $350 billion and will grow to over $550 billion by the year 2030. It's a demographic we cannot ignore. Since deploying in 2022, I've successfully onboarded over 3,000 animal health professionals across 8 African countries and reached over 150,000 animal owners. Our vision is to be able to connect effectively 5 million Africans to animal care and social protection by the year 2030. I lead the team at Vet Connect, effectively supported by an advisory board cutting experience across animal health care, operations, impact, and ensuring that the economy in terms of sustaining livelihoods with the power of livestock production is sustained effectively. I'm looking to raise over $500,000, which will effectively help us onboard over 750,000 animal owners, onboard 50,000 animal health professionals, and deploy our micro insurance solution that is strictly targeted for smallholder livestock farmers to ensure that the social protection package is deployed and sustained efficiently. Africa's population is predicted to double by 2050. Our livestock resources as it is are very fragile. Identifying these 2 challenges was the first step. Now we're effectively resolving them, and I welcome you to support us to transform this sector, not just for the profit benefits of it, but more importantly for the impact that we'll make collectively across the African continent. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. So, after each speech, we're going to take 1 question for from the audience. So, if you do have a question, now is the time. Everything was clear? Ah, I see one question over there.
Yeah, first off, great pitch. I mean, I saw something I wanted to find out about. I saw your revenue target. I wanted to throw more light on that. You're raising 500K. I saw a revenue target of 5 million to 10 million. Yeah.
Okay, so this is a baseline for us. Currently, in terms of our revenue model, we leverage subscriptions and advertisements. Now, through that, we are projecting that with these funds injections, we'll be able to now expand because our subscriptions now target primarily animal health professionals. We now want to open it up to livestock farmers because they offer us the advantage of scale in terms of the numbers. So in doing that, and then our insurance solutions is what we project that in terms of baseline revenue under 1 year, this is what we hope to achieve.
Wow. In 1 year?
Yes. So it's a baseline, building from there.
Thank you very much. And congratulations. So, next on stage, we have Green Next Gen with a smart LPG gas meter that tracks usages and that refills in real time. Green Next Gen.
At RIM Next Gen, we are on a mission to make clean cooking affordable, accessible, and adoptable to over 100 million households in Africa. Cooking gas supplied in gas canisters provide no means to track gas level or anticipate gas runouts. This makes planning and budgeting for upcoming refills difficult for households, stock management inaccurate for vendors, and supply and distribution operation costly and inefficient for distributors. To address this, we developed RIM, a smart gas regulator that mounts on gas canisters to simplify monitoring, planning, budgeting, and ordering of cooking gas for households, stock management and order fulfillment for vendors, supply and distribution of cooking gas for distributors. So far, we've done over 20,000 hours of rigorous product testing, filed for a patent and trademark, and attracted over 5,000 customers in our sales pipeline. And in the next 24 months, we are looking to scale our customers to over 40,000 customers in our sales pipeline. We are raising $200,000 to fund growth and operation of RIM. And with a team that understands the problem, the market, and have built award-nominated products in agri-tech, prop-tech, and clean-tech, we will be on track to realizing this vision. So join us on this journey, and let's make clean cooking affordable to millions in Africa. Because with RIM, convenience meets sustainability.
Oh, excellent. Same process. One question from the audience. I guess the pitch was very clear. One last statement.
Join us on this journey.
Oh, congratulations. Okay, so our third startup will be GrowFunder Africa. GrowFunder is a crowd lending platform, financing smallholder farmers to support their business development, I would say. GrowFunder.
Good afternoon. My name is Kelvin Doll, and I am the CEO and co-founder of GrowFunder. Now, let me introduce you to Nick. Nick is one of our farmers. Over the last 1 year, 1/3 of his farm has remained uncultivated. Not because he doesn't have the skills to cultivate it. He's been farming for over 8 years. He is struggling because he is locked out of the financing he needs to grow due to lack of credit history and lack of collateral. And the funny thing is, Nick is not alone. Out of 3.3 million small commercial farmers in Kenya, over 70% lack the financing they need, limiting their ability to increase production, boost their income, and trapping them in a perpetual cycle of poverty. How are we going to solve this? At GrowFunder, we are building a peer-to-peer lending platform that allows ordinary people like you and me to invest directly in farmers like Nick, unlocking inputs on credit, insurance, agronomic support, and guaranteed access to market after they harvest. What have we achieved so far? We launched our pilot 4 weeks ago with a small group of farmers in order to validate our unit economics and our lending model. In the same period, we have raised 160,000 shillings from 16 micro-investors in Kenya. We have also issued our first batch of input loans to farmers like Nick, and I'm proud to say Nick today is farming on all 4 acres of his farm. Now, the market we're looking to solve for is massive. However, we are currently targeting Kajiado County, which has 14,000 registered small commercial farmers, giving us an obtainable market of around 42 million over the next 3 to 5 years. Now, you know what we're solving for, how we're solving it. This is our team, and this is a team that's going to get it done. Ooh, these are the old slides. No problem. We are looking to raise $50,000. So we've garnered a lot of interest over the last 4 weeks from potential partners and the farmers we are working with. And we want to raise this money in order to ensure that many more farmers like Nick are able to access the capital they need to be able to grow food for themselves and grow food for us. So join us. Thank you.
Congratulations, GrowFunder. So it's written here. Any question? One last statement. There is a question. There's a question right here. That was your chance for a powerful statement. But
I love questions, so questions are good.
Thank you very much, and a good pitch. My question is, so the funding, is it loan? At what point do you recoup the money that you invest in the smallholder farmers?
So, can you hear me? Yeah. For the pilot we're running, we are targeting a crop with a crop cycle of 3 months, right? And we have aligned the repayment to end of season because we figured out farmers, the biggest challenge they have is they don't have cash mid-season, which is what you're trying to solve for, right? So ideally, we help them sell their produce to our partners, and then we collect our payment after the sale is made. So whatever they plant is already basically contracted to be collected immediately. It's ready to be harvested. Yeah. So it's basically repayment after harvest model. Yeah.
okay, perfect. Thank you very much. So now, please welcome on stage Solar Bright Future, who's bringing reliable solar energy to underserved communities. Solar Bright Future.
Hi everyone, my name is Mbimi Marius Kongso, and I am the CEO of Solar Bright Future Company. Growing up in Cameroon, I experienced the struggles with daily blackouts. My mother couldn't cook, my father couldn't finish his job, and I couldn't study well. Today, we still have over 600 million Africans that are facing the same challenge. At Solar Bright Future Company, we provide clean and reliable household energy systems that keep families powered, secure, and protective. Our solution is very simple. It's simple to install, it is affordable, and is designed in such a way that helps families save money even while enjoying energy independence. In the last 1 year, we have been able to reach 40 households, 4 health centers, 1 school, and secure 1 partnership with Schneider Electric Foundation. In the first quarter of the next year, we are looking to scale to 40 households per month by grouping families to form local savings and credit associations to help them reduce the burden of upfront installation cost. We have a team of 20 trained solar technicians who are ready to deploy the systems, install them, and maintain those systems even as we scale. And these technicians are led by myself and my colleague Noel Lifora, who are 4-time founders. Today, we are looking to raise 300,000 US dollars to expand our installations, strengthen our operations, and also reach more communities faster. So we are looking for anybody who is interested to work with us, to have more conversation with us, and join us create a brighter future for Africa. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Any question for our founder? Maybe I do have one question. So your system, does it rely on storage?
Yes. Our systems relies on storage. We do have both. So we could do day-use systems, and we could do systems that also function with batteries. So it depends on the needs of the client at the moment and on their budget lines.
Okay. And have you found a way to make it more competitive, if I can say so, because the storage is always very tricky when it comes to solar electrification? How is your strategy around that, if you have?
I'll come again with your question.
What is your strategy around making storage more affordable for your clients?
When it comes to storage with solar systems, we have to go for the best. There are low-cost storage systems in the market. There are also high-cost storage systems in the market. But like I said, we try to make it based on the budget of the client. You could go for low-cost storage, where we are going to advise you on the loads that you are going to power in your household. If you want to go for high storage systems that could take every equipment in your household, we are going to advise you on the best storage systems to use at the time.
Perfect. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So, next on stage we have Netagro, who is using data to help farmers make smarter and more sustainable decisions. Netagro.
The sun rises over a small farm. For Mary, a mother of 3, her day begins with worry. I know this story because I grew up watching my grandfather face the same struggle. From low yields to high cost of production, but the issue is decision-making. About 1.6 million farmers in Zambia face the same problem. That is why we built Netagro, to help them farm smarter, waste less, and grow with confidence by providing universal access to the tools they need for them to make the right decisions. The market is enormous, but our focus is Africa, which is around 20 billion, but currently we're only serving Zambia around 20 million. Our competition is great, but we are better because we offer a digital and comprehensive solution that provides value from seed to market. Impact, enormous. We have been able to achieve this by providing crop yield 40% growth, production cost cut by and now we've got access to over 60,000 farmers through our partners. We've been able to achieve this through this amazing team, combined experience of 25 years, from forestry, agriculture, to engineering. Our ask is very simple. We are looking for partners to help us take this to the next level. Join us as we make this the better future for agriculture. Thank you.
So, improving, reducing the loss, you say, by?
30%.
30%? And how do you do that? How do you achieve such a performance?
Okay, thank you. Okay, thank you so much. So we have a solution that cuts across the value chain. So we're targeting those who are early farmers. So we have a device that helps them collect the data and gives them information. So instead of them receiving 30% moisture, 10% temperature, we give them the actions they need to perform to solve that particular problem. And for those who need a farm assistant, we have an application that helps them through the whole process of farming. Then for those who already have farm produce and want to venture into a business, we have a platform that helps them do that. Then for those in the decision-making space like NGOs and governments, we offer the data for them to make the right decisions for the farmers. Yeah. Thank you.
Amazing. Thank you very much. Thank you. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you. So next on stage, we have Dishi, who's innovating around the food system to avoid waste and to promote quality meals. Dishi, the floor is yours.
Hi. The food system isn't broken. It's doing exactly as it was designed to do a century ago, produce abundance. But today, that design has a fatal flaw. That flaw is costing African businesses $10 billion annually. And businesses are losing revenue up to 20% simply because they do not have a marketplace to be able to sell the surplus. Millions of urban students and families cannot be able to afford quality meals. And it's a paradox because businesses are throwing away a lot of food simply because there is zero infrastructure. Introducing Dishi. This is the infrastructure. Simply think about it, the Airbnb of surplus food. It works in the simple way. Businesses get to list the surplus food, consumers order the mystery bag at discounted prices, and get to pick at designated times. We are solving a global $95 billion inefficiency. And our focus starting in Nairobi, worth $50 million. We are currently at the pre-launch stage, and we have currently 200 plus early adopters on the wait list, 20 plus businesses in our pipeline. And we are looking to expand in the next 18 months and onboard also 200 plus businesses. The team comprises of super team with 18 years plus of experience in tech, sustainability, and operations. I am Matthew Njuguna, founder and CEO. We are currently asking to raise $200,000 to be able to expand our operations, onboard 200 plus businesses, and dominate the Nairobi market in the next 18 months. Join us in giving good food a second chance. Asante.
I see that there's already a question from the audience.
That was a great pitch, thank you. So 2 questions. One is, can you walk us through how you're anticipating on providing your solution? And then 2, for the 200,000 that you're raising, what does it help you do? What is the use of funds there?
Okay, so just to get this right, first is how our product works, yes. And secondly, in regards to the 200,000. Okay, so our product is a marketplace, which basically is an app where businesses can be able to upload their surplus products and food before they mystery bags, as we call it, at discounted prices up to 70%, and pick it at designated times before the businesses get to close. And to answer your second question regarding the ask, so the 200,000 basically is to be able to help us be able to run our operations and as well to be able to expand to 10 different cities and unlock a value worth $500 million. And this also includes onboarding 200 plus businesses plus running operations.
Thank you very much. So now on stage, we are welcoming Husky Plast Solution, who is turning agricultural waste into biodegradable alternative to single-use plastics. Husky Solutions.
Businesses everywhere are scrambling to ditch plastic, with good reason. In Kenya alone, we generate 1.3 million tons of plastic waste annually. 50% of this, single-use plastic. And now it's not just a good idea for businesses to go green, it's the law. Kenya's EPR regulation 2024 demands that businesses clean up the waste that they generate or face a fine. My name is Molly Nyokabi, and I'm the company lead at Husky Plast. Our first attempt at tackling the single-use plastic menace is Husky Sip. These are compostable drinking straws made from rice husks using our biopolymer technology. In Africa, the drinking straws market is valued at $850 million, and we want to capture 2% of this. In the last 3 months, we have perfected our bioplastic formula, and with this formula, we've created bioplastic material, which we've used to prototype drinking straws, which we've gone to the market with and actually piloted with 10 restaurants, and have been able to convert 2 of those customers, which tells us and proves to us that the market is willing and ready to adopt our solution. Our impact goes beyond plastic reduction. For every 400 straws that we produce, we prevent 4 kgs of CO2 from going into the atmosphere compared to conventional plastics. Behind this innovation is myself, a 2-time founder and the product lead at the company, and Caroline Degwa, an ESG and sustainability expert who runs the company operations and customer relations. Our ask is $60,000 to set up a production line for compostable pallets that will allow fresh produce exporters to comply with the incoming EU regulation for eco-packaging. We're not saying get rid of plastic entirely. Plastic has its place. What we're saying is let's build a better kind of plastic. Thank you.
Thank you. Any question? May I ask you, when you were developing your formula for those bioplastic, what was the most challenging technical aspect that you had to deal with, and how did you overcome it?
So expertise in Kenya is not that advanced, so it was a huge learning curve, even with the people that we collaborated with, the experts, the chemical engineers. So a lot of research went into this, and that's how we overcame perfecting the formula. Yeah.
But is there a specific challenge you had?
Yes, in terms of purchasing ingredients. Some of the ingredients are not easy to come by. Yes, so I was able to leverage my networks with the people in the industry to get some of those ingredients into the country.
Perfect. Thank you so much. I'm asking the question because I'm very curious. Every time I use a biodegradable or bioplastic, right? We always have this challenge where, sometimes it becomes softer sooner than you would like. Is that something that you came across? And just out of pure curiosity.
Yes and no. Yeah, but we were able to work on the formula and yeah.
Perfect. Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you for your time.
So now we welcome on stage Ekeka, who's a company so still in the same space of fighting against plastic and plastic waste and plastic pollution. Ekeka is a startup that is providing a solution to help recycle plastic and more specifically help companies manage their plastic and waste. So Ekeka, the floor is yours.
Imagine you want to file your environmental reports and you realize it takes 2 weeks of spreadsheets, emails, and guesswork. What if you had to do the same thing in 2 days with data that you trust? Hello, everybody. My name is Jendros Gatobu, the founder of Ekeka, a sustainability intelligence platform that is looking to help companies be able to complete their environmental reporting in 2 days instead of 2 weeks using accurate and traceable packaging data. Africa generates 17 million tons of plastic waste annually, but only 4% of that is properly traced or recycled. The reason being data failure. Manufacturers don't clearly understand what it is that they produce or recover, or also material flows are not verified, and teams are depending on Excel sheets. As policies continue to tighten, companies must report, but the systems are failing them because they're unreliable. And that's where Ekeka comes to close this gap. We are a localized sustainability intelligence platform that is combining end-to-end traceability and actionable insight. Something that used to take 14 days, now is taking only 48 hours. In 5 years, Ekeka is looking to capture 3% of the packaging market in East, West, and Southern Africa. We've onboarded 10 pilot companies. We've been able to analyze more than 500 stock-keeping units, and we've been able to convert one pilot to a paying customer. We are looking beyond into having measurable impact, where we're looking to push 70% efficiency in reporting, 20% reduction in plastic waste leakage, and creating 30 green jobs specifically for youth and women. The team brings together an expertise in operations, sustainability, and technology. We're looking to raise $150,000 to be able to scale our product, the team, and market operations. Ekeka is shifting compliance from being a burden into being a catalyst that pushes circular growth in Africa's packaging ecosystem. Less paperwork, more progress. Thank you.
Amazing. And I'd like to mention, if you allow me, that actually Ekeka was part of, obviously, the pre-acceleration program, and this paying customer that you transformed, it was through the support that you received. And so I'm curious, unless there's a question from the audience. No? I'm continuing. So I'm curious. I want to, but you transform, this pilot into a paying client.
Yeah.
So what would raising those 150,000, how would it help you to transform even more client concretely?
All right, so for the raise that we're looking at is, first of all, we've already converted one, so we're looking at converting the other pilots into paying customers, being able to refine the platform more to be enterprise scale, get to increase the team capacity, and also be able to support now the customer onboarding and customer support as we continue. Yes.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
All right, thank you.
Very clear. So now on stage, we are welcoming Go Meals, who's providing healthy, convenient, and affordable meals to the everyday folks. Go Meals.
Hello everyone, my name is Sifan and I am the founder of Rapid Meals Limited. What if healthy food is as easy as drinking water? That's the first question I asked myself after graduating as an IT professional and life became busier. I struggled with weight cycling for so long, so I skipped meals or rely on junk food due to lack of time, which affected my health, productivity, and energy. That's when I went out and do my research. And after I have done my research, I have found out that 70% of young urban professionals in Kenya skip meals or rely on junk food due to lack of time. What's even worse is that 500 million Africans are expected to live in urban areas by 2030, and yet access to fast, healthy, and affordable meals are almost non-existent. That's when we went out and created the Go Meals, Africa's first plant-based, ready-to-eat functional food brand. It's convenient, nutritious, and sustainable. Our value is simple. We make it locally, complete nutrition, it's sustainable and clean, and it requires no cooking. Our market opportunity is 1.2 million obtainable market, assuming we are targeting 1% of our SAM. So far, we have sold 1,000 units of our product within less than 5 months. We have 98% positive customer satisfaction with zero marketing, and we have already stocked in 6 supermarkets with more onboarding next year. Our timeline is we launched it in March this year with plans to expand in Kenya and beyond next year, by the end of next year. We are raising $50,000 to scale our operation and to accelerate our customer acquisition. So join us in making healthy food as easy as drinking water. And go get your Go meals today, your smart food on the go. Thank you.
Well, sounds like a dream. And actually, the dream came true for 1,000 client entitlements. So congratulations for that. So I guess I'll just continue with the same question. Like, how do you see the growth of your business following up a potential fundraise?
Sorry, how do I see the growth?
Like how the funding that you might raise will help you acquire even more clients. Do you have already your strategy for that?
Yeah, we have already in talk with QuickMart and Naivas, which we have appointment in January 15th. So we are raising to scale our production and so that we could serve more clients.
Perfect. Very clear. Thank you so much for your clear question. I see that there's a second question.
Hello? Yeah, thank you very much. I mean, with food production or food packaging, issues of quality usually come into play, and especially when you're talking about healthy food, but then it's food obviously which is dry or packaged. How do you ensure quality, or where does the quality control happens?
Okay. We use a facility that is public health certified. We also have public health certification for ourselves, and we use the HICCUP standards to make sure it's quality when we pack it.
Perfect. Working with the right partner. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much as well.
Thank you. Congratulations. So next on stage, we have Footprint Intelligence, an AI-enabled ESG platform and dashboard for investors. Just what we need to measure, the impact of incredible startup like the one we just saw. So Footprint Intelligence.
Good afternoon, everyone. Financial institutions in Africa manage trillions in assets, but cannot quantify the impact at scale. I'm Sharon Ayuma, co-founder and CFO of Footprint Intelligence. We help financial institutions produce sustainability scores and reports that investors can trust. Banks across Africa are now required to report on ESG and climate, but their data remains fragmented across teams, subsidiaries, and local data sources. Reporting remains manual, costly, slow, and still risky under audit. Footprint Intelligence solves this by transforming fragmented ESG data into localized, defensible scores and reports, reducing assessment time while capturing risks that global frameworks miss. Why now, you may ask? As from 2026, sustainability reporting is mandatory across African markets, and institutional investors are increasingly requiring ESG data to allocate capital. The total ESG data analytics market is massive, and we are targeting a $2 million obtainable market in Kenya, Nigeria, and South Africa. Thus far, we have deeply validated our problem, and we have engaged IFC IFC climate risk leadership, and we're looking to pilot with our first bank in first quarter 2026. Our team combines over 10 years experience in ESG and climate risk, advanced engineering and financial reporting, making us the A team to build this infrastructure. We are raising $50,000 to onboard our first 5 pilot banks, deliver tailored implementations, and produce case studies that validate the model and unlock scale. Join us in transforming the sustainability assessment journey for African financial institutions. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I'll wait to see if there's a question before I ask mine. But within UNDP, as you can imagine, we are all about impact, right?
Yeah.
And I won't lie, measuring impact is a challenge. So every time I hear your solution, I'm thinking that this is definitely something that we want to support, not only as, a program supporting entrepreneurship, but also more and more, that's what we're trying to look at, how we can actually become a client of this type of solutions, because they're actually solving problems we are facing. So thank you very much. And I guess, if I can ask you, like, you mentioned that you want now to have 5 banks as your pilots.
Yeah.
What is your strategy to reach out to those type of clients?
We're looking to partner with leaders already in the sustainability space. For example, as I mentioned, IFC, who have partner banks with them. So they can recommend us to them, and that will be very crucial for us in getting these pilots.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Very clear. Thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. And so now we are continuing with New Digit, who is actually developing AI-powered hydrogen cells to fuel different type of infrastructures. New Digit.
We are providing electricity and medical-grade oxygen using water. A few years ago, I was admitted to a local hospital in Nigeria. I nearly lost my life due to oxygen power-related failure, a typical problem that exists across 40,000 hospitals in Nigeria and 500,000 hospitals across sub-Saharan Africa, giving a total addressable market of $19.9 billion. To solve this problem and gain access to this market, we built a revolutionary system that breaks down water into hydrogen and oxygen, generating 15 kilowatts to 1 megawatt of electricity and 1 liter to 40 liters of medical-grade oxygen on site. We are deploying this system at $0.2 per kilowatt hour and $25 per cylinder. Our core technology uses quantum-based systems and artificial intelligence, already deployed in 3 hospitals, generated 107 megawatts of electricity, produced 17,000 liters of medical-grade oxygen. In 2 weeks, we generated. We have supported care for 11,000 patients and reduced CO2 emission by 77.6 tons. This is why we are seeking $1 million to deploy to the next 100 hospitals in order to gain $6.2 million projected revenue. We are a team of past businesses, and we have been contracted by Saudi Arabia to deploy our system in the Saudi NEOM project. This is why we want you to join us, to support us, not because of the $6.2 million profit in the waiting, but because every life counts in the lives of our family ones, our loved ones, our brothers and sisters. Beyond that, to the children and people unborn. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Wow. Truly impressive. Truly impressive. Hydrogen is definitely the energy source of the future, and it seems like you've mastered it. So I have a question. I go for my question. So, and actually a hard one, because you already have 3 hospitals, and the price you announced for electricity is so cheap. I'm not sure if the audience realize that $0.2 is extremely cheap. What is the limitation that you're facing right now, and what is your strategy to overcome it? Because it sounds almost too good to be true. So, like, what are the challenges that you have, and how you plan on this?
Okay, so because we are deploying to hospitals having 50 beds below, most of these hospitals doesn't have the space to install our system because our system is installed on site. So in order for us to solve this problem, most times we have to build a space for the hospital, or we partner with the hospital to build a space where we can install our system. For example, this is Safewell Hospital. We constructed this space where our system is installed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So basically it's the infrastructure, the cost of the infrastructure and the capital-intensive nature of this infrastructure that leads limiting your deployment.
Yes, kind of.
That's the 1 million fundraising target. Perfect. Thank you very much. Any follow-up question? No? Thank you, Nijizu.
All right.
So now we are welcoming on stage Serial Soko, who's platforming, interconnecting farmers with institutional buyers. Serial Soko. Woo! Woo!
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Yusto Omondi. I am founder, CEO, Serial Soko. Meet Mary, a smallholder farmer in Migori who's just had a bumper harvest. She's waiting for calls from buyers who had promised to call. Days turn into weeks, the calls never come. Climate shocks, crop pests, and low local prices start to threaten her harvest. Meanwhile, just here in Nairobi, millers are importing the same produce for double the price. We realized that the problem is not the production, it's the connection. But that's why we're building Serial Soko, a digital sourcing platform that consolidates smallholder harvest into reliable, traceable, and profitable bulk sales. So far, we have connected over 3,000 farmers in our pilot counties to over 40 agri-buyers across the country. Our vision is to scale this to millions of smallholder farmers like Mary and to be able to impact them in the same way. You can imagine that 8% of our target share in Kenya translates to over $10 million in 12 months, achievable in 3 to 5 years. We have a rockstar team that is fit to implement this. Overall, we have 33 decades of experience in agriculture, technology, and operations. We are raising an angel round of $250,000 to help us scale to 10 counties, onboard 10,000 farmers, multiply our trades per day to 1,000, and open a straight path to $500,000 in 12 months projected revenue. Every harvest tells a story, and I invite you to partner with us either in investing, partnerships, or spreading the word. Together, we can be able to help farmers like Mary to no longer wait in vain and to be able to thrive on their own terms. Thank you.
Thank you. There's a question from the audience. Thanks for the heads up. I was already getting for it.
Thank you. Serial Soko, I would wish to have heard about the aggregation. How do you handle aggregation and logistics?
Oh, fantastic. When we went to the counties to do our pilot, we realized that there are many farmers. In fact, the first day I went to a radio station just to announce ourselves that we are on the ground. And we received over 1,000 calls just from 30 minutes after that radio interview. And when we went to talk to the county about the problem, they told us that actually these farmers are frustrated. And we gave them an optimized formula that we can use to just deal with these 1,000 farmers that had pressing need to access the market. So we built a collection route optimized close to the farmers who have issues. And so through these 1,000 farmers, we built an itinerary of just 3 collection centers where they were able to come on board and we were able to check the quality and offtake from those locations. We've built this in our platform where just by swiping right, you can be able to aggregate the volumes that you need from the comfort of your seat, and our platform will optimize into collection routes. Say you want 5,000 metric tons as a miller, you can be able to optimize 5,000 farmers who are willing to sell to you into 5 collection routes, thereby set appointments in quotes where they will now meet there, check quality, make payments, and offtake from those locations. That is how we do it on our platform. I don't know if it answers the question. Fantastic.
Okay.
Fantastic.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Congratulations,
Thank you so much.
Thank you. And so now we continue with On2Grow, who is providing data-driven and DeFi-enabled financing to smallholder farmers. On2Grow.
Africa's agricultural financing ecosystem is broken because it focuses on traditional metrics and ignores farmers who have information gaps, performance gaps, and don't have sources of revenue. But On2Grow sees this as an opportunity because we provide farmers with decentralized credit based on the continuous improvement in performance of their farms. So first of all, we give them access to the right information and tools so they can scale their production. We are 70% cheaper than any agronomists out there. But more importantly is that all in-app activity is tracked on our platform and stored on the blockchain, where it is used to calculate a credit score for the farmers. And it is this credit score that is shown to investors so they can think of farmers not as a risk, but as any other portfolio investment that they would have out there. And because of how our technology works, our loans are 6 to 8% cheaper than our competition, and we promise investors 8 to 12% annual return. So we are targeting a $2 billion market, and we're making money by charging a subscription service to our farmers, taking 1 to 3% as a loan facility fee, and we also provide our service as an API so that other builders building similar products to us can continue to scale. We've served 1,600 farmers to date, and all of them are reporting quite an increase in their performance. We are looking to scale that up to 25,000 farmers in the next 3 years, and are asking you to come along with us on the journey with an ask of $300K USD so we can scale our team, our engineering, build more partnerships, and acquire more farmers. Thank you. And my name is Brian Amani.
I can see that there's already a question, actually 2 questions from the audience.
Hi, Brian. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. My name is Michelle, and I'm a farmer. So my question to you would be, I'm in central Kenya as a farmer.
Yeah.
What would set you apart from the local cooperatives in terms of accessing loans? Because you're saying that your rates are quite low. So what sets you apart from the local cooperatives?
Okay. So traditional loans come around maybe 18 to 22% in terms of interest rate. So we're built on the blockchain, which means that how money flows through our ecosystem is way cheaper than how banks would have money flow. The second way is that because we're built on chain, we can focus on retail investment, which means that everyday people like you and me can crowdsource funds and then invest in a farmer. So I mean, there's lower risk in terms of the origination of funds, and then the flow of money through our ecosystem is way faster. And then the other way is that we've also found that farmers do not typically borrow alone, like not alone solo. They don't typically borrow solo. So we also allow for farmers to have an anchor farmer who is the chief borrower, and then other farmers can then join that pool in terms of the loan size, so they can reduce the risk on the farmer and on the lender as well.
Okay, you had also mentioned a subscription service.
Yeah.
On average, how much would that cost the average farmer?
Okay, so the subscription is it's $10 per month for advisory, but it ranges from $2 to $10 depending on the size and scale of the farmer.
Sorry, last question. The subscription service, because majority of farmers will not maybe be on the internet and stuff like that. Can it be something paid through a platform like M-Pesa?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Sorry, thank you.
Thank you very much. Maybe we have a client in here. There was another question, maybe on the front. I'm happy to take it right here.
I think Michelle has asked all the questions.
Ah.
But just on the $10, so I was curious about the profile of the farmers, because I think more often than not, when you think about farmers, you think about smallholder farmers.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I just wanted to understand the profile of the farmer that could pay $10 a month for advisory and other services on top of the 1 to 3% facility fee that you charge.
Okay, so there's actually 3 tiers to the subscription service. There's $2, there's $6, and there's $10, which we've actually recently reduced to 9. So smallholder farmers will pay the $2, and we only begin to ask for them to pay that fee when we've actually seen an uptick in their performance, because we don't want to take advantage of farmers. And then $6 and $9 is dependent on the scale. So we have medium holder farmers, say coffee farmers who have around maybe 6 to 10 acres, who will pay the 600 bob. And then we have large holder farmers who will pay the $9, which was recently $10. Then you had another question on the loan facility fee. So the loan facility fee, because we've built it on chain, there are no transaction costs. So there is no, say, 5% going to the bank, and then after that, another 3% coming to us. It's just the 3% that comes to us. Everything else is facilitated for as low as $0.000001, so there's no cost.
Great questions, good answers. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you. So now we're welcoming on stage iLoop, who's providing and building cold chain and energy solutions to cut post-harvest loss. iLoop. Woo.
Good evening. Let me start by someone I met in Madare. Her name is Akinyi. Akinyi is a fish vendor and a single mother of 2. Every morning at 4 a.m., Akinyi buys fresh fish from the market. But by midday, 30 to 40% of her fresh fish spoils due to unreliable storage and delivery options. When this happens, she doesn't just lose income. She faces a loss of income and food insecurity. There are millions of Akinyis across Kenya facing the same challenge. And the problem is massive. Kenya's cold chain market is valued at $511 million, which is part of Africa's $13 billion. And clearly the opportunity is continental. At iLoop, we are building a smart last-mile cold chain infrastructure for Africa through 3 core components. The first one is smart cold boxes that are solar-powered. We have the second one, which is a reliable delivery that is affordable, and a marketplace app that connects vendors and suppliers. Through this, we are helping vendors like Akinyi sell more, waste less, and feed more families. In our pilot phase, the demand was clear. We achieved 30 pre-orders, onboarded 100 vendors with 30 more on the wait list, and were able to generate a revenue of 200,000 Kenya shillings during this initial pilot. Ladies and gentlemen, the opportunity is massive, and we are raising $550,000 to aggressively scale our impact and operations. This will fund development of call boxes, it will accelerate customer acquisition, and enable us to purchase motorbikes for call deliveries. Our team is combined of expertise in product innovation, sustainable energy, and software development needed to scale. We are now supporting over 120 fish vendors daily and fresh produce traders, and the need is massive. At iLoop, we're not just building a cold chain infrastructure. We are supporting fish vendors, reduce losses, and preserving livelihoods. And we are also delivering tomorrow's success today. Thank you.
Excellent, excellent. If there's no question from the audience, once again, also out of curiosity, why the fish market?
because that's where most of the losses happen. So that's where we focused on.
Okay. And would you say that this target, those vendors, they economically, they would make more sense than other spaces, or you really chased the impact first?
We wanted to change the impact first, and then we can move to other economic vendors. Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you very much. There's another question. Yeah, Madalena.
I have a question, sounds interesting, and then like you'll be developing the cool boxes and then the motorbikes. I wonder whether 50,000, how did you arrive at the 50,000? It seems like a bit costly. I don't know how you actually source the material to develop the coal boxes. But how are you selling it? What is the price of selling it, or how you're making your revenue from these fish farmers who are always anyway operating on small capital? So what's the model to recover or to make the revenue?
Okay, currently we are using as pay-as-you-go model, whereby we're just leasing the coal boxes to the fish vendors, and they pay either daily basis or on a weekly basis. Sorry?
If you are leasing, then don't you need enough cool boxes at any given time?
That's why we are raising, because we're seeking partnerships with also other finance companies, whereby they'll just sell to them upfront, and we keep on developing the cold boxes.
No more questions? Perfect. Thank you very much, Ailuk.
Thank you.
Thank you. Congratulations. And so now we are moving to WheezyCare, who's reducing mortality in rural areas using hybrid digital healthcare. WheezyCare. Woo!
Becoming a mother in Kenya shouldn't be a life or death gamble, but for many it is. Right now, 70% of Kenyan mothers lack access to quality, affordable maternal care. According to Kenya Demographic Health Survey, maternal mortality in rural areas is at 40% higher compared to urban centers, not because care does not exist, but because mothers can't reach it or afford it. Every day, a woman is choosing between paying for prenatal care or feeding her children. By the time complications arise, it's too late. So 3 barriers are keeping mothers from care. We have 40% higher maternal death rates in rural areas, and 60% of these mothers can't afford quality care. 1 in 2 of them lack digital access to use smartphone health apps. So we built something different. Hi, my name is Faith Gisheha, founder of WheezyCare Plus, which brings prenatal and postnatal care directly to mothers' doorsteps through SMS technology and motorcycle mobile clinics. No smartphone needed, no internet required, and no 20-kilometer trip to a clinic. In Kenya, 1.2 million mothers are delivering annually. At just $3 to $5 per mother, that's a $4.8 million addressable market. And we're just getting started. We are launching this December with over 200 mothers already enrolled and an early Kajiado County Health Department partnership. In 2 years, we anticipate to serve 20,000 mothers with 60% plus margins and an annual recurring revenue of $80,000. This is momentum you don't want to miss. Our team brings healthcare credibility, tech execution, and proven fundraising. We are not first-time founders hoping this works. We are experienced builders moving fast. We are raising $150,000 to unlock $2 million in revenue from our waiting list of mothers and counties ready to partner with us while saving thousands of lives. This isn't just an investment in a startup. It's an investment in making sure that no Kenyan mother has to gamble with her life to bring life into this world. Let's create change together. Thank you.
Wow, powerful. Powerful. Any question from the audience? So, well, I guess you said that you're not a first-time founder with your team, you're not a first-time founder, and that's something that we always kind of value in the teams that we onboard into our programs. But then, may I ask, I guess it's a common question, but what brought you to this space, and how have you perceived the possibility to actually make it financially sustainable?
I'll start with your first question. So I've been in the healthcare space for more than 5 years now, but I witnessed the healthcare cracks firsthand, but never did I imagine that I would experience it firsthand as a patient. I happened to deliver prematurely, and the team I was relying on to respond to my emergency never showed up. 2 a.m., bleeding, no one is picking my calls, so where do I start? So this was born from lived frustration and lived experience. And to head to your second question on sustainability. So making it financially sustainable is one of our key priorities. And that is why, you see, we have to charge the mothers between $3 to $5 per service. So this is prenatal and postnatal. So there's prenatal visits which are progressive. It's not a one-off payment. So having such a model is sustainable. And we are not only going to use the bikes for delivery of maternal care, we can incorporate other projects that generate us revenue. So yes, we have a financially sustainable model plan. Thank you.
Amazing. Thank you very much. Thank you for sharing your story. Thank you. And finally, last but not least, obviously, we have Climate 360, who's providing climate risk data and insurance to smallholder farmers. So, Climate 360 on the stage. Woo!
Allow me to introduce you to Nekesa. Nekesa is a farmer in the western parts of Kenya who for the last 10 years has been feeding her community. 3 years ago, when drought hit the western parts of Kenya, she was not able to harvest as expected, and this meant for her that she was not able to plant in the next coming season, and she lost her livelihood. This is a story for over 60% of smallholder farmers across Africa who are one climate shock away from losing their livelihood, a loss that's predicted to reach over $40 billion by 2040. Yet, financial institutions like insurance companies that are meant to hold this risk avoid this demographic because they are an unquantified risk to bring into their portfolio. What if there was a way that we could unlock income protection for underserved farmers? This is where Climate 360 comes in. We enable the infrastructure to be able to insure farmers. The process is simple. We are able to interpret the farmer data to insurance companies and insurance solutions to farmers. We've been able to launch in 2 markets. So if you're in Kenya or Rwanda and wondering how to insure your farmers, come to us. We've also developed partnerships that will enable us to develop 5 more climate insurance products within 6 months in 2026. Being able to solve this problem opens up a $30 billion market for farmer insurance in East Africa. We are aiming to service the East African market in the next 2 years. For a problem like this, I bring to you a team of Avengers. I'm Lavender Birike. I bring over 6 years' experience designing insurance products within the East African market and globally, alongside my co-founder, who's a climate finance expert and is able to mobilize the right funding that we need to be able to bring this solution to life. In the next steps, we want to close partnerships with underwriters, banks, insurers, MFIs, cooperatives, and farmer-facing organizations so that we can easily access farmers, and you're raising so that you're able to build the data infrastructure that's able to develop climate insurance-specific data. For a dream like this, we invite you to join us so that we can reach 3 million farmers by 2030. Climate resilience doesn't need to remain a dream, but can become a reality for the continent. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Lavender. Any question from the audience? I'll go straight to a similar question I asked earlier, because I remember during the pre-acceleration program, you were able to secure a key partnership for your company. Can you tell us a little bit more about this partnership and how it's allowing you to grow?
Fantastic. So we were able to secure a partnership with a company that has done underwriting both in global markets and here, that enabled us to launch the very specific crop insurance product in market and match it to an aggregator in under 1 month, which was really good for us. And because of that partnership, we were able to also secure a second one to help us build the data infrastructure that's specific for insurance companies.
Mm-hmm. And in simple English?
In simple English, we are able to develop specific insurance products for an aggregator just through that partnership.
Amazing. Well, thank you very much. So, I guess I'll ask another round of applause for our 16 funders who pitched today. And it's very, very special to see those funders pitching this way and showing their innovation and progress out there, and businesses, because those are businesses that are past the stage of innovation. And I think in this room, we are all builders. We are dreamers, but we are also builders. We are doers. And I'm sure that and each of you know how much it takes to actually make things move, to create movement, to create momentum. So just being here, standing in front of you after those pitches, I just feel like, you know, the road is still long, but we are definitely heading in the right direction. We are making progress, and I'm really, really full of just hope and enthusiasm around the future that we're building together. So thank you very much for your attention through this session. I hope you learned new things, you discovered startup that you found interesting at this pre-stage. We are now going to have an intervention from the Ministry of ICT, because the Ministry of ICT is one of the main partners of Timbuktu here in the continent, and we know how, at the end of the day, you know, startups, they can have the best talent, they can have the best ideas, but sometimes if the environment is not correct, if the environment is not enabling, then it becomes a real challenge. Indeed, it becomes a real challenge, and indeed, the Ministry of ICT is helping us building this enabling environment. But before we get this closing remark from the Ministry of ICT, I would like to invite our seed stage startup to present their progress also and their businesses, their impact that they are having on our ecosystem and our country in the green tech space. So I guess without further ado, we'll start with the first speech. Infinite Branch on the stage.
Thank you. Thank you. 50,000 homes. That's the number of Nigerian households we've connected to solar in just 5 years. But here's the thing. Over 600 million African households still go dark every night. Sad, right? That's why we built Infinite Branches. Our platform connects verified customers to 40+ trusted solar providers. And we are still counting. Pick your budget, pick your needs, and within minutes, you have options, financing included. We take 5 to 15% on every deal that closes on the platform. And in the last 12 months, we've done over $600,000, and we've been growing 10% month on month. We are just getting started. You want to help light up Africa? Key into the $100 billion market opportunity. My name is Olushola Owuyemi. Come find me after this. Thank you.
Thank you. And just to give a small precision, so those are our seed stage startup. They participated to the Sustainable Innovation Seed Accelerator program that we're implementing once again in partnership with 500. And so for this section, it's a bit like a bonus section, right? Because we had our pre-stage startup pitching for actual fundraising. But now on this section, we'll have very short 30-second pitches, right? Just to give you a sense, just to give you a feel of the startups that are, I would say, on the next stage of our portfolio. And of course, you'll have the opportunity to reach out to them to have more information during the networking session. But this is just like a taste of it. So moving on with Exodus. Thank you.
Good afternoon, guys. I hope you're well. Now, anytime you want to move large groups of people on schedule, transport fails, especially in Africa. Exodus Mobility is the transaction layer for organized shared group transport. We charge a 30% transaction fee, and we're growing at about 15% a week on paid transactions. We're raising about $600,000 to expand our network of operators in both Nairobi and Mombasa City, and of course to prepare for scale in other cities as well. Thank you so much. My name is Kikonda Motela. Please reach out if you want to help us complete the journey. Thank you.
Now on stage, we have Akatele on cloud.
Thank you so much. Imagine losing 85% of your investment because of degraded soils, poor soil data, and the increasing soil input costs. That is the true reality of over 65% for African farmers. At Akatal on Cloud, we solve this by using science-driven biotechnologies and AI. We turn organic wastes into biofertilizer and protein-rich animal feeds. And since our foundation, we have transformed, or we have reached over 58,000 farmers. And we call you today to join us by investing $500,000 US of the $1 million goal that has so far been raised a half of the $1 million by UNCDF. Thank you so much.
Next on stage, please give a warm welcome to Social Pay.
Hi, everyone. I'm Simbra Shugwenzi, founder and CEO of SocialPay. Across Africa, over 40 million SMEs are informal, and they are locked out of credit. This is creating a $330 billion credit gap. That's why we at SocialPay are building a digital platform that helps banks and MFIs to be able to finance these businesses using pay-as-you-go solar asset usage and repayments as reliable credit data. To date, through our partners, the YEC Fund and the Zimbabwe Microfinance Fund, we've been able to support over 600 businesses to finance $720,000 to these small businesses, and they have experienced a 98% recovery rate. That's why we're inviting you to partner with us as we scale through partnerships with banks and microfinance institutions to finance the next 100,000 businesses in Southern Africa by powering them through Social Pay. Thank you.
Next on stage, we have Silo Africa.
I grew up as a smallholder farmer. Getting to know farmers are losing up to 40% of their produce throughout the season. The problem was not production, it was storage. Then came Silo Africa. So at Silo Africa, we are providing digitized metallic silos for smallholder farmers by giving them access to also financing, that is LIPA, an equivalent of LIPA Pole Pole, and also a dynamic marketplace for their produce. So far, we've done 2,500, we've deployed 2,400 metallic silos, and we are still getting to get there. With a market opportunity of 6 million farmers, we are looking to raise around $500 million US, one silo at a time. Thank you.
Next on stage, we have Charge Byte. Woo!
In Africa, connectivity exists, but reliable power doesn't. Some communities experience outages that last up to days, if not hours. This disrupts digital transactions that is worth billions. ChargeByte is resolving this at the infrastructure level. We are assembling and deploying hybrid charging stations across public spaces in the off-grid areas. To date, we have deployed 32 units, serving 7,000 users every month. We have also closed a partnership with UNICEF that will lead us to deploying 30 more units, powering 10,000 more users across Kenya. My name is Ochieng Quinta, and I'm inviting you to join me on scaling this infrastructure one country at a time, starting with Kenya, Rwanda, South Africa, and Senegal. Thank you.
Next on stage, we have Kitovu.
Jambu Nairobi!
Whoa.
How do you design a system that delivers prosperity for smallholder farmers across Africa? At Kitovu, we answered that question by building a single source platform that connects quality produce to processors, and at the same time, enable smallholder farmers increase their productivity by 30%, while increasing their incomes by 40%. So far, we have generated over $1.3 million in revenue to date, and we have over $4 million in demand pipeline. If you want to find out how we scale this for 10 million smallholder farmers, come talk to me after now. Thank you very much.
Woo. Congratulations. Next on stage, we have Emoti.
Professionals in Nairobi spend too much time in transit because public transport still runs fixed routes and schedules that don't actually serve their particular needs. And this pain finds its way into their workspaces because they lose 1.5 hours daily because of unoptimized routes and unreliable transport. This affects 3.8 million people in Nairobi who rely on this transport to get to work. At Emoti, we are creating transport as a service that really addresses their problem because our platform optimizes routes and schedules to work for them. And we use electric vans and buses to keep it clean and affordable. In the past year, we've been able to transport 100,000 people, generate $50,000 in revenue, and offset 60 tons of carbon emissions. Solving this problem in Nairobi means tapping into a $100 million market. So if you'd like to see how Emoti is building the modern rails of urban transport in Nairobi, please come find me, Billy Mwangi, or my co-founder, Dennis Kirera, after this. Thank you.
Next on stage, we have Moon Innovations.
Hello, everyone. During COVID-19, a friend of mine who is a remote worker had power outage, and he was robbed. This is not an isolated situation. This is a problem suffered by over 700 million people across Africa. That is why Moon Innovations is providing an all-in-one, one-of-a-kind solution, providing solar electricity, internet, and security. We've deployed over 50 units of this system across Nigeria, and we've generated over 500 megawatt hour annually for homes, businesses, and communities. We are looking to expand into other markets, especially real estate, and we're asking you to come connect with us. I am Michael, and the founder of Moon Innovations.
Woo! And next on stage, we have Cool Books.
Woo! A few years ago, I met a frozen food trader in northern Nigeria who said something I'll never forget. Lack of electricity spoiled my goods. It has spoiled my confidence too. At Coolbox, we fixed that. We design and manufacture solar-powered refrigeration solutions and finance them through our smart locking technology. This way, businesses get to earn first, then own, paying as little as $1 a day. With over 12,000 units deployed across Africa, thanks to our partners such as Coca-Cola, Danone, and Farmers Choice Limited, we are closing this year's revenue with $6 million, which is 3 times more than what we did last year. Having avoided over 140,000 metric tons of CO2 emissions and food waste, we are building the cold chain infrastructure that Africa was never given. I am Lola Dialonge. Join us on our mission to make sustainable cooling affordable and accessible to everyone that needs it. Thank you.
Woo! Woo! So next on stage, we have Dig Farmer.
Across Uganda and Kenya, in our database there are 2,000 companies from food and beverage industry who are facing critical bottleneck, less than 60% capacity utilization. Why? Unpredictable farmer supplies. This is equivalent to $2 billion loss in value for these factories. At DigiFarmer AI, we are solving this problem using data, AI, and last mile agent network. We are able to supply these factories with consistent quality, reliable supply, as well as complete traceability from farm to the factory. Today we work with 50,000 farmers and 100 factories, currently expanding from Uganda to Kenya, and also doing revenues of about $1.6 million. I am Sachin. Join us at DigiFarmer AI to build and scale sustainable data infrastructure, empowering next generation agri-value chain. Thank you.
Next on stage, we have Tera Lima.
Hello, everyone. Now, in Africa, we have 33 million smallholder farmers, and they produce some of the most important commodities that power global markets. So think about tea, coffee, cocoa. However, the opaque supply chains they operate in mean they only earn less than 10% of the market value of their produce. And this is the problem we are solving at Tera Lima. We're building a blockchain-powered solution that delivers traceable commodities and essential digital financial services to smallholder farmers. And these include loans, carbon credits, and insurance. We've made great progress. We've already onboarded 15,000 farmers and partnered with the National Farmers Union, giving us access to another 1.3 million farmers. We've also unlocked $1.2 million in working capital, and we are now scaling Tera Lima to ensure that we deliver fair markets and financial inclusion for farmers across East Africa. My name is Roy Njoka, and I'd love for you to join me for a cup of Kenyan tea as we solve this problem together. Thank you.
And next on stage, we have Priya Ventures.
Did you know that less than 5% of plastic waste manufactured each year globally is recycled? At Chuka Ventures, we developed a patent-pending technology to recycle plastic waste into a clean cooking fuel that we use at our homes. With an annual revenue of 100,000 USD, we recycle 20 tons per day, empowering 25,000 households, reducing their energy bills by 50%. We are raising 1 million USD. My name is Sonko Jamal. I want you to join me. We scale this impact together. Thank you.
Next on stage, LBH.
Growing up on my mother's cocoa farm as a third-generation poultry farmer, I saw firsthand what many people miss. Smallholder farmers like her produce 80% of the region's food supply, yet when it comes to credit to grow, the system treats them as invincible, not because they are not productive, but because their activity is simply not captured. At LBH, we are fixing this. LBH is a data infrastructure platform that captures real farm activity data and turns it into trusted signals that unlocks agricultural credits and improves agricultural productivity. In Ghana, we've currently worked with 72,000 farmers, and we've helped unlock 2 million USD in agricultural credits. In the past 12 months, we've generated $260,000 from software subscriptions and commission from our input transaction. And today, we are seeing strong demand in Uganda, where we are working with Agro Consortium Uganda to serve the next 1 million farmers. I'm Ato Kwamina Mensah, co-founder and CEO at LBH, and I encourage you all to join us in our journey to serve the next 1 million farmers. Thank you.
Thank you. And next on stage, we have Vunape.
Hi everyone, I'm Katweri from Vunape. 70% of Africans are smallholder farmers, and up to half of them sell their produce through agri-cooperatives. But there's a debilitating pain in smallholding that must be solved now. That is delayed payment. When these smallholder farmers deliver their produce to the cooperatives, they are paid after 3, 6, and even up to 13 months. At Vunape, we provide instant payment to the smallholder farmer as soon as they deliver their produce to the agri-cooperative. Through our cooperative management system, we provide real-time, unique farmer data, insights to our financiers, the ones on our panel like KCB and the government of Kenya, so they can pay the farmer instantly. We currently have 139 cooperatives on our system and serving 120,000 farmers, and our revenue is growing 75% month on month. So join us as you harvest a better future.
Wow, impressive. I guess that's the word. So I guess that's how we close our pitches for today. I really, really hope that you're getting out of those pitches inspired and also impressed, right, by everything that our entrepreneurs have already achieved, and really, really enthusiastic about what we'll be able to achieve moving forward into Africa's future. So, coming back to the comment I was making earlier about the importance of an enabling environment and the role of government in that process, I'd like to welcome the Minister of ICT to give us some closing remarks, and somehow also congratulating through the Minister of ICT the entire government of Kenya, who contributed to put Kenya on the map and to project Kenya as one of the places to be when it comes to entrepreneurship. Mr. Director, the floor is yours.
It's good evening. I was to make my remarks during the opening, but how I ended up at the closing point is another story that we'll have to discuss after. Nevertheless, we are here. We live in Kenya, and you know how Kenya sometimes behave and how we behave. But I'm glad to be here. It's such an amazing time. I've seen innovations. Some of them I've seen online. Now I've got to see the owners. I'm here representing the PS ICT and Digital Economy, Engineer John Tanui, and my name is Evan Geshuki. I'm the Director of Software Development and Digital Services. And I'm so much impressed with what I've seen. The initiatives are gone. So he was to make some few remarks. And I'm going to read word by word. They are not necessarily closing remarks, but well aligns with the work that we are doing, because the talking notes aligns with the law of the ministry. The role of the ministry and how it supports innovation in the country. So, ladies and gentlemen, I want to read word by word. It's good evening because it was supposed to be good afternoon. Kenya innovation ecosystem is a critical pillar of our national development agenda and a key enabler of economic transformation, job creation, and global competitiveness. The Ministry of ICT and Digital Economy plays a central role in shaping the ecosystem by providing policy leadership, enabling digital infrastructure, and convening partnership that allows innovation to thrive. Partnerships like the one we have seen here and we are having here with the UNDP and other partners. At the policy level, the ministry continues to implement the digital economy blueprint, the national ICT policy. We have the Kenya AI strategy 2025-2030, the cloud policy, and already ongoing national data policy. These frameworks are designed to create a predictable and innovation-friendly environment while upholding trust, data protection, cybersecurity as foundation principles. A flagship initiative that amplifies our approach to the innovation is a Timbuktu Green Tech Hub initiative that seeks to tackle Africa's pressing climate challenges while unlocking economic opportunities. With a focus of renewable energy, waste management, climate, smart agriculture, and more, as you have seen here, the initiative empowers startups to scale solutions that address critical needs such as energy, access, food security, and environmental resilience. This positions Kenya as a regional and a continental hub for innovation. Through the Timbuktu initiative, the ministry is working with strategic partners like UNDP, amongst others, to establish innovation nodes, venture studios, and catalytic financing mechanism that enable startups to scale beyond the early stages. Importantly, Timbuktu goes beyond incubation. It focuses on commercialization, regional expansion, and global competitiveness, ensuring that Kenya innovation are positioned to succeed on the world stage. These efforts are reinforced by sustained investment in digital infrastructure, including the digital superhighway, national broadband expansion, and last-mile connectivity in the country. This ensures that innovation is not confined to major urban centers, but is also accessible to talent and entrepreneurs across the country. Human capital development remains a priority through digital skills programs like Ajira Digital Program and the Konza initiative. I remember the name, Ajira, and the other program. Sorry, it's gone off. Programs and partnership with the industry and academia. The ministry is equipping young people and entrepreneurs with the skills required to participate meaningfully in the digital and innovation economy and to fully benefit from initiatives such as Timbuktu. Government itself is also a catalyst for innovation. Through digital government and GovTech platforms, in view of creating opportunities for local innovation to develop and deploy solutions that enhance public service delivery and improve the citizen experience. In conclusion, the role of the Ministry of ICT and Digital Economy is to enable, coordinate, and catalyze Kenya innovation ecosystem. Through initiatives such as Timbuktu, amongst others, we are moving decisively from ideas to impact. Position Kenya as a leading innovation hub in Africa and trusted partner in the global digital economy, as reflected in today's Green Tech Hub Demo Day 2025. Those are remarks from the PS, and I'm so glad to represent him and to also meet all of you here. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Director Gichuki. So I guess with those words, we're arriving at the end of our official programs. Once again, thank you very much to our government partner, to the senior leadership of UNDP, represented today by Madalena, who's providing a very concrete and hands-on support to bringing this flagship initiative to life. Thank you to our partners, 500 Global, who are very much challenging us on a day-to-day and bringing us to step up our game also in some area. We are very grateful for that. Thank you for the Timbuktu team, Victor, Gladys, Samuel, Michael, who are making this possible. We are a very small but extremely dedicated team here in Kenya, but also elsewhere across our different hubs. I'd like to thank all of the ecosystem partners who made it today. I know that we are very close from the holidays and people are already half in vacation, so thank you so much for being here. And of course, thank you so much to our founders who, as I always say, are such an inspiration. You cannot even imagine how much sense you are providing to us, like just looking at you, watching you grow, progress, and going through this pain game with grace and poise. That's so very inspirational for us. So I guess, the networking area is now open. Refreshments are already being served. Please meet, speak. There's also an investment lounge for those, investors lounge for those who might want to meet and, discuss in private. But please meet, exchange ideas, exchange contacts, and hopefully from here to Africa's future, we'll build something together. Thank you all, and until next time.